There's a cure for everything according to the body, the Bible of the body. So we deal with the Bible of the body. If you catch it in time, there's a cure for everything. Because the body's had billions and billions of years of practice. It's been in every imaginable circumstances to respond to threats, externally and internally, self-induced threats. That's basically what autoimmune disease is. Auto in Greek means self. These are self-inflicted wounds. That's what autoimmune disease is. It's self-inflicted wounds. Because we refuse to cleanse and feed the cells and empty the gut. Since the day you've been born, you've been feeding your gut. And you've been starving yourself. Now, Raymond is a performer. He's a singer, poet, theatrical pieces that he do in the schools with children. And he got throat cancer. And the doctors I think it was Oxford that told him that the only solution we have is you won't be able to speak again. You want to take out your voice box.
Oh my God.
You won't ever be able to speak again. That, for an entertainer, that's pretty much a death sentence. And so he opted not to do that. But I knew his daughter, so his daughter said, Dad, why don't you just come over and do a consultation? And he did. And to make a long story short, he went through the fast and everything, and he's been performing for the last 3 years now.
Yes.
Looks as young as he's ever looked. His voice is perfect. No sign of cancer or tumors or growth or anything.
How long did the fast last? How long did he do
40
the fast
days.
last?
Normally,
40 days.
Now it doesn't have to be 40 days, but normally with people, when you're at the advanced stages of cancer, you got to stop eating. It takes too much energy for the body to break that down. So all that energy, the healing stops. When you eat, healing stops. Because the body has to use that energy to break down this new Trojan horse. Yes, this new thing that it has to kind of convert it. That takes a tremendous amount of energy to do that. So the body, so the healing part stops. You know, that's anything. Apple and oranges, apples and oranges or fruits are less egregious, or even greens don't have much calories or any. So it doesn't take a whole lot to break that down, but we prefer green juices as opposed to greens. Because vegetables are not really foods. They're nutritional medicines. So they should be taken in medicinal dosages. So and then the next person, so Banter comes every month, you know, he never misses a month. And he's traveling all over the country with his troupe, you know, putting on these plays for children, something similar to Sesame Street. Miss Juanita Smith, this is some of my yoga students. This is them doing yoga now, after she had colorectal cancer. She was a retired teacher. She retired in 2000, right before Katrina, 2004 or 5. And her sisters with her, they're both my yoga students, would do African Kemetic yoga in City Park when it's not cold. We do it here 7 days a week. And they were afraid to get on the ground because they didn't think before they got started, they didn't think they'd be able to get up without embarrassing themselves. And now they're doing black flips and stuff like that. They're in their 80s.
Doing backflips? Oh my goodness.
She can take her feet and bring it all the way to the back and touch the ground, and we call that the rocking cradle, and to massage and extend the vertebrae. And most of my younger kids, like Xavier and Dylan, couldn't do that. My younger students at the universities. That was 9 years ago. She had colorectal cancer, and it's gone.
Wow.
Never come back.
That is
and she was in the 70s. She's in the 80s now. Don Terra, one of my yoga students, she helps me to teach it sometimes, had MS. And she had to retire from as a bank, opening accounts and stuff, bank rep, opening accounts, and she couldn't even do that. And every time she get up to walk, it take her 20 minutes to get to her car, her feet would start dragging. So a neurologist told her that it's really nothing we can do to stop it. There is an experimental drug she could try, but it costs $5,000 a month. But there's no guarantee it's going to work. But we can't. There's no cure for it. But maybe we can slow it down. And so, of course, she couldn't afford it. Then she's not even working. So that's when she came to me. She did a 40-day fast. Then she started doing the yoga, the African Kemetic yoga with me daily. That had to be about 6-7 years ago. Right now, she's working 2 jobs for the last 4 years. And she helps me a lot of times to lead the yoga class, which is pretty demanding. No signs of MS.
That is wonderful. Oh, my God.
And they're saying that this is uncurable.
Yeah.
Tina Tran, she's out of Vietnam, been living here. When her parents came over after the Vietnam War, had fibromyalgia. And she had been in pain since she was 19 years old. When she came to me, she was 29, 30. And she had tried she was in excruciating pain every day of her life for 12 years. And she was on all kind of medication, steroids and stuff. She was blowing up. No relief in sight. She came to me, she did the fast with the herbs and the minerals. And that was at least 3 years ago.
Wow.
And she hadn't had a single pain since.
That is
so she put her sisters, her father, everybody, her son, everybody's on the product.
I bet.
If she comes, she doesn't miss.
Doc, do you do anything for like thyroids, like people who have thyroid issues?
That's a common disease, hypothyroidism, Hashimoto, GERD. That's common.
Okay.
Because the thyroid is responsible for so much stuff taking place in the body. It's like they call it a conductor. It helps to distribute things, particularly hormones from the endocrine system where they're supposed to go. So it's always being overworked. It's always, and because they're eating all the time, it gets overwhelmed.
Right.
So of course you're going to get, hypothyroidism. It's just so much I can do. We overwork our body on everything. The brain, the sinuses, everything is over. The heart, in particular, the lungs, the reproductive system is overworked. Too much stuff. Women have heavy menses, fibroids. It's epidemic today because they're so toxic. The more toxic you are, the more blood is going to be released. And the less toxic you are, the lighter your cycle. It's simply that simple. So she hasn't had any issues with that. So,
that's wonderful.
We have many, but I'm going to give you a few.
Okay.
Evan George is a professor over at Tulane University in the graphic design department. His wife is a principal at one of the high schools across the river. I think it's John Eric. And he had one of the worst forms or expressions of leukemia that the doctors had ever seen. He had over 152 rounds of chemo over a 6-year period. He was on 32 medications for 7 years. Transfusions looked like almost every other month. And they removed 125 blood clots in 2 operations. And the doctors told him, at Tulane, said, we've done everything we could. He went up back and forth to MD Anderson. And he wasn't, 6 months before he came to see me, he wasn't walking or talking. So he was able to manage to get over here. The doctor said, Evan, we've done everything. We can try some more chemo, but we've done everything we could do. Maybe we want to make some preparations. And that's when he came to see me. And he got on the formulas and everything. It was an extensive protocol of minerals and herbs. And when he finished taking them, he noticed that he was able to take his wife to certain social events, to balls and parties and dancing with her. He started playing basketball with his son. So he went back again. He didn't realize what was going on. Is this my imagination because I really want to live that badly? Or is this something metabolically real? So he went to get MRIs, and it did a battery of tests. And they couldn't find anywhere in his body that he ever been sick. Leukemia was, his blood was pure, clean. There was no indication that he had ever been sick because the body heals itself. And he erases the disease signature. Because disease, again, is not a thing, it's a process. So in order to get rid of the disease, you have to get rid of the process. That's why when you get cancer, doctors only tag it when they can see it. So, but they never get rid of the process. What caused this thing to show up here in the first place?
Right.
So they cut it out and say, okay, you're cancer free. And it comes
And it
back.
regenerates itself, exactly.
It comes back because the process is still enabled. And it comes back more virulently, worse. You know, the most of the time, most people never survive the second round of it. That's what happened to Miss Betty Griffin. She had gotten it, they cut it out 19 months before she came to see me. The second time they discovered she only had a day to live. Because they never got rid of the process. They only got rid of they only tagged what they could see. Often you would go to the doctor and say, we don't see anything. Go home, you know, have some fun. We don't see anything, come back, let's watch it for 3 months. Come back in 3 months, we'll watch it. Disease is not something you want to watch.
Right.
You know,
especially not for 3 months. Just
right, for any time.
nothing.
Disease is
right.
not something you want to get along with.
Right.
That you want to cohabitate with. You don't want to watch it and see how bad it's going to get.
Right.
You know, so, but they have no way of preventing the disease process. It's only after something very bad happens, oh, okay, now you're getting cut, slash, and burn, to see if it can do it. Then it still comes back because the process is still there. Like you made it angry because your immune system is lower, so it entrenches itself, becomes entrenched. And now, and it anchors itself into your body, so it keeps popping up. You got tumors popping up everywhere because you didn't get rid of what caused these things. What are these things coming from? You know, ask the question. Usually, the medical establishment, their mantra is, we don't know where it comes from, and there's no cure for it. But take this, it might make you better. But we don't know where it comes from, and there's no cure for it. There's a cure for everything according to the body, the Bible of the body. So we deal with the Bible of the body. If you catch it in time, there's a cure for everything. Because the body's had billions and billions of years of practice. It's been in every imaginable circumstances to respond to threats, externally and internally, self-induced threats. That's basically what autoimmune disease is. Auto in Greek means self. These are self-inflicted wounds. That's what autoimmune disease is. It's self-inflicted wounds. Because we refuse to cleanse and feed the cells and empty the gut. Since the day you've been born, you've been feeding your gut. And you've been starving yourselves. So that's just a recipe sooner or later. And children, infants start telling you that I'm dying over here. I got colic. That's never supposed. I got a fever. I got a cold. I got a runny nose. I got an ear infection, let alone meningitis or something. I'm dying over here. And so we think we give a baby Tylenol or antibiotics, which even downgrades the body's ability to protect itself. We give it antibiotics which kills the microbiome, the friendly bacteria in the gut. You know, that's why most kids, we've been so used to antibiotics, they're realizing that the gut produces half of the neurons that is needed for the brain is produced by the probiotics in the gut. So that's why now kids are mentally deficient. They can't pay attention. They can't stay still. Not to mention the electromagnetic smog that they be confronted with all day long. You know, because their bodies are working at half mast. So the idea is that in order to bring the body back, what they call homeostasis, where it's never designed to ever be sick, you have to cleanse and feed the cells daily and empty the gut. So that's why we believe in those getting started in fasting. As a matter of fact, you're designed as humans to eat every day and to fast every day. That's how we design. That's why the morning meal has always been referred to as breaking the fast or breakfast. But we're not doing that because we're eating too late. So the body, what they call a system of circadian rhythms, are designed. That's why I never eat past 12 o'clock.
Noon, right?
Noon. That's why I never eat past 12 noon. Because the body rises and it falls with the sun. So the threshold for introducing things into your system is from brunch to lunch. After that, the body goes to about 3 o'clock. That's one stage, one cycle the body goes through. Then you get to about 6 o'clock, the body should be going into a pure fast. But if you're not eating nutrient dense foods, then you're hungry all the time. You're always hungry. So you forget about that. I'm eating something because no one likes to be hungry.
Right.
They're eating all night long, all day long. People eat while they sleep. Because they're always hungry. So how do you stop being hungry so much that you're living outside of the natural order? The body rises and it falls with the sun. So the vibrational frequency of the sun, the body responds to that. That's when you're ready to break things down. And that's when it increases the efficiency of the enzymes, the digestive enzymes in the body, and the metabolic enzymes in the body are more efficient. And you can introduce these foreign, strange-looking things into your body and allow the body, and you give it time. So by the time you get to 6 o'clock, the body has gotten everything it needs, and then you can go into a pure fast. By the time you wake up 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, you have fasted. So breakfast really is breaking the fast.
So when you say from brunch to lunch are the ideal times to eat, brunch starting at what, 10 or like
9?
Okay,
10.
So about 9 to 12 is when we should consume food, and then other than that, really, we should be fasting.
You should be fasting.
Ooh.
That's right. But if you're hungry, that's not going to happen.
Right.
It's just not. You can forget about that, and that's what people have been hungry their whole life. They don't know anything else.
Right.
There's no reference. This has been going on for thousands of years. Eating 3 times a day and snacks in between, and eating animals, eating the cadaver of dead animals.
Yeah.
I mean, these supermarkets are basically temporary morgues for the body parts of dead animals. I mean, it's not even food for humans. And then, it stays in your gut forever. And so, you're going to have a lot of gastrointestinal issues. But, no one is going to fight that urge of hunger. It's impossible.
If you want more, tune into the next episode of Health, Wellness, and Spirituality with Zachary Ramsey III, a.k.a. Doc. Thanks for listening. A lot of daddy, yep, like a fine wine with a lot of body, yep. Elevate your senses, realign your mental. Let us get some space like a condom in a rental. A lot of daddy channel, yo, son, pull up. A lot of daddy vibe, hey girl, pull up. A lot of daddy, yep, we out here, pull up.